Hi there. I want to talk about something that happens so often to Christian wives dealing with porn betrayal. Now, if you go from I'm fine to I can't breathe in 30 seconds, that's not emotional instability. It's your nervous system reliving something it never got to finish. You might be washing dishes, half listening to a podcast, when a phrase about lust pops up. Or you're sitting in church and the pastor talks about sexual sin. Or your husband reaches for his phone a certain way or sighs in a tone that feels a little too familiar. And suddenly your heart is pounding. Your stomach drops. Your brain is replaying that night, that search history, that confession. You can't track the sermon. You can't taste your food. You just feel gone. Then the shame starts. Why am I still like this? Other women would have moved on by now. Did I not really forgive him? If I really trusted God, would I be this triggered? Maybe people around you mean well and say things like, just remember who you are in Christ. Perfect love casts out fear. Don't let the enemy have a foothold. So now it feels like you're failing two ways at once. Failing as a wife because you can't get over it, and failing as a Christian because your body still panics even when your theology is solid. I want to name this plainly. Your body is not rebelling against God. It's trying to protect you from a pain it doesn't know how to carry yet. So here's why you keep getting blindsided by triggers. When you discovered your husband's porn use, it wasn't just information. It was a shock that hit your whole system. Your brain didn't file that moment away like a neat story. It stored it as fragments. His expression, the lighting in the room, the tone of his voice, the verse you'd read earlier that day, the feeling in your chest, your throat, and your stomach. So now when anything in the present vaguely reminds you of that past moment, a phrase in a sermon, a phone screen lighting up, a certain time of night, your inner smoke alarm rings again. Your body isn't saying you're weak for not moving on. It's saying, this feels like that. Are we safe? Are we about to be blindsided again? Trauma pulls you into trauma time, where your body feels like it's all happening right now, even if the calendar says it was months or years ago. That's why Bible verses alone, while deeply good and true, sometimes bounce off in those moments. Your nervous system needs help coming back to today before your mind can fully receive comfort or truth. So let's walk through a short practice you can use when you feel that sudden wave hit. So this is a 90-second come back to the now prayer for when you get triggered. You can do this quietly in a pew, in the car, in your bathroom, or at the sink with your hands in soapy water. Wherever you are, this works. We're not trying to erase the pain. We're helping your body remember it's not happening again right this second. I'm here. Jesus is here. I can take the next breath. So start by naming the wave. The moment you notice the surge, your chest squeezing, your thoughts racing, see if you can silently say, this is a trauma response. It makes sense that I feel this way. You're not rolling your eyes. You're talking to your scared body like you would talk to a trembling child. Of course you're overwhelmed. Of course you're scared. Just naming it begins to bring your thinking brain back online. Number 2, orient to today. Gently look around and pick 3 things you can see. You might see the window, the plant, and the blue mug, for an example. And then notice 2 things you can feel physically. You might notice your feet on the floor or your back against the chair. And then notice 1 thing you can hear. You might say, I hear the fan. Maybe it's worship music. Maybe it's the cars outside. Then quietly tell yourself, today is, say the day and date. I am in, name the place, like my kitchen, my church, my car. And right now, in this exact moment, I am physically safe. You're not pretending betrayal didn't happen. You're helping your body realize, I'm not actually back in that discovery moment. I'm here right now. And number 3, breathe with your body and your faith. Place 1 hand on your chest and 1 on your stomach. Inhale gently through your nose. Exhale like you're breathing out through a straw. Slow, steady, and controlled. And see if you can make your exhale just a little longer than your inhale. On each exhale, picture setting 2% of the tightness at Jesus' feet. Not all of it, just 2%. Almost like praying, Jesus, I can't hold the entire wave. Here's a small piece for you to carry while I stay here, in this room, in this moment. Do that for about 90 seconds, maybe 6 to 8 slow breaths. You might notice the sensation shift. Sometimes it softens, sometimes it moves, sometimes it stays exactly the same. Whatever happens, it's information, not failure. And finally, ask 1 gentle question. When the wave has come down, even a notch, ask yourself, what is the next kind thing I can do for myself? Not, how can I fix my marriage right now? Something small, like stepping outside for fresh air. texting a safe friend, jotting down what triggered you to bring up later in a calmer moment, or simply whispering, "Jesus, stay with me as this passes." We're not demanding that you get over it. We're celebrating that you moved from a 9 out of 10 wave to maybe a 7 out of 10. That's nervous system healing in tiny increments. Now, I want to make something really clear. I hear a lot of women say, "I was doing better, and then I got triggered, and it felt like I went all the way back to the beginning." But thankfully, that's not how healing works. A trigger doesn't reset your progress to 0. It just shows you where your body still needs care, safety, and support. In the Restored Roots method, this is what I call Phase 1, Recognize and Stabilize, something we'll go over this Saturday. In Phase 1, you learn to recognize, that's my smoke alarm. That's trauma time pulling me back. And then practicing little tools like this to stabilize your body enough to think clearly, pray honestly, and make wise choices. If any of this resonated, if you saw yourself in those church pew moments or late night waves, I'd love to walk with you a little more. So come to our live workshop this Saturday at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And together, we'll go deeper into why your body feels out of control after betrayal. We'll practice multiple grounding prayers and nervous system tools like the one above. We'll talk about how faith and trauma can coexist without you having to choose one over the other. We'll begin mapping what real safety and next steps could look like in your story. And if you stay for the full 2 hours, you'll unlock a live-only gift we've been prepping for all year. The one that's worth more than an iPhone, but less than a Tesla. You can come with your camera off. You don't have to share. You can just listen, breathe, and let your body experience that it's not alone in this. So make sure to put this on your calendar and set aside those 2 hours just for you. And here's a reminder, you're not too sensitive. You're not failing God. You're a woman whose nervous system is telling the truth about how much this hurt. And together we can teach it how to breathe again. We'll see you on Saturday.